Hit it. Welcome, 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 everybody. You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for the Super Bowl, and we're ready. I'm Spitface. Please welcome our host, the First Lady of Sports Talk, Cheryl Smith from sunny Florida.
Hey, good morning, everyone. It's sunny here, but it's still a little bit cold. We still going through that little cold spell, but it shall pass. It shall pass, hopefully, by the end of this week.
Hey, did folks break out their fur coats this week?
Oh, yes. Oh, definitely. I saw some fur coats with some Ugg boots, too.
They were styling. You know that when you in South Florida, you have to take advantage of the 3-4 days out of winter. You get to wear your fur coat because you might have missed it, and you got to wait a whole nother year, before you can put it on. But there's a lot of stuff going on. Super Bowl weekend happened to coincide with the opening of the Winter Olympics. And First Lady, one of my favorite Olympic stars, got wiped out, Lindsey Vonn. She was already coming in, with a hurt ankle, and then she wiped out, and they had to airlift her away. So, but Lindsey, shoot, at your age, as far as an athlete, you still were up there with the world. So, I had to hand it to her because she could still legitimately compete. And but I think it's
she didn't really have a hurt ankle. She had a torn ACL. She was torn ACL. I mean, that's crazy to think that she was going to try to do that. She did it in her preliminary. They showed, she was able to get through her preliminary run, but not when it came down to the actual competition. Yeah, it was sad. Got wiped out.
And then, got wiped out. And then, let's see, and then looks like Mike Vrabel became Coach of the Year. I don't think anybody can really argue with that one other than us Bear fans. Mm-hmm. We think our coach should have been Coach of the Year. He took his team. Well, there's like to pay. Well, they weren't doing all that good either last year, but the Bears were worse. But they didn't get to those Super Bowls, so I ain't gonna feel too bad, But and then it has just been one of them weeks. We had that all over the place. There's all the stuff in sports, but all the stuff happening. We have the president being despicable with his racist post of the Obamas, and First Lady. When I miss the Obamas, I don't know about you. I miss the Obamas. They had grace. They had, especially really both of them. They had some class about themselves. They didn't need no phony gold ornamentation and stuff, but they had class and respect. I miss them days, But then I miss Walter Payton too. So all right, and. I guess we got to move.
I'm not even going to say anything because we got a terrible president and so disrespectful what he did. I mean, and he refuses to apologize. But you want to know something? A lot of the Republicans are pushing back on that little thing. How disrespectful he was. They have been pushing back on it, and they're trying to get him to apologize. But we don't need his apology. That man will get his day. I'm going to say that he will get his day.
Hey, it can flow that way. Now, this will go shout out. We have something better. We have performances from Carter C. Carter. Will he find his shining star, get the cold feel of the mute button? First Lady, we're ready. What you say?
Each week, we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdies around the NBA are flapping their wings as they get traded to different teams across the nation. The Clippers traded James Harden to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Will they become the beast of the East? Anthony Davis put on his street clothes to make his move to the Wizards. Does this put them in contention for the playoffs? Giannis didn't go anywhere for now, which probably disappointed New York Knicks fans. There was a lot of movement by quite a few teams. Are they sending a message to their fans about their team's future plans to win the big one? George Foreman, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, both rest in peace. Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking what you saying. Well, you know, I mean, will the Cavaliers become the beast of the East after that trade? It will provide a major push for the Cavs. You know, traditionally the Cavaliers have been a regular season team, but they always falter in the postseason. So, yes, adding Harden will give them a great success in the regular season, but it will not make them become the beast in the East, the beast of the East. I mean, it's definitely not going to make them the beast in the playoffs because we know how small James Harden plays in the playoffs. I mean, I do feel Harden is a better fit for the Cleveland Cavaliers than Darius Garland because, you know, Garland, unfortunately, was always injured, whereas, you know, Harden is very durable. Even though he's 10 years older than Garland, you know, he can play, he plays. You know, he's available when he's motivated. Now, Harden is 6'5", and so, you know, that will bode well for the Cavs because, you know, Garland and Mitchell, they were considered to be a very small backcourt that teams could easily attack, and they weren't great defensively. Now, don't get me wrong, Harden is not a strong defender, but he is serviceable defender, and he could be much better if motivated. He does get a lot of steals, you know, and usually when he gets traded, he is motivated because, you know, he knows how to get them demand trades to get out of there. That's something Harden does. But, you know, Detroit to me is still the team to beat along with the Knicks, even though Detroit walloped the Knicks again for 2 straight games against the Knicks. But, you know, the Knicks didn't have several of their players. So I'm not going to look at that as anything, but we'll see how. But Detroit is a very strong team in the East. Now, Anthony Davis put on those street clothes to make the move to the Wizards. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that trade was shocking. I understand what the Mavs have done. I mean, the trade of Anthony Davis for Luka was probably the worst trade in NBA history. Definitely the worst trade in NBA history. But Anthony Davis going to the Wizards, the Mavs were able to pivot and get off of his contract. They were able to make moves. They got a lot of first-round picks, and they're able to build around Cooper Flagg. And to be honest with you, I'm going to say this. I think Cooper Flagg will be a far better player than Luka Doncic because, number one, Cooper Flagg is a 2-way player. Luka was only 1-way. That was offensively. And a lot of people felt Luka wasn't that motivated to do well. You know, he always came to camp heavy and out of shape. He did come to camp to the Lakers a little bit more in shape, but again, he's injured. You know, he's had a lot of injury. So we'll see. I still think the Mavs got lucky when they got Cooper Flagg with the lottery pick, but it just worked out for them. So they were able to pivot from that disastrous trade. So now as far as the Washington Wizards, Anthony Davis they already shut him down for the rest of the year. They've already said it, and they're not going to play trade wrong. The Wizards was not even preparing to contend this year because they're going to contend next year. First of all, their first round pick, if it dropped out of the 8th spot, it was going to the New York Knicks. And so they were even trying to lose that draft pick. So they're going to just pair Anthony Davis and Trae Young along with some of their young core, Alex Sarr, Keyshawn George, Bub Carrington. They got a lot of good young players that just couldn't get it done on their own. So now they have these very key veterans. And the Wizards will definitely be able to contend at least to get into the play-in next year. I'm not ready to say they're going to be in a straight-up playoff spot, but they can contend to be in the play-in tournament, and that's a big difference from being in the cellar all these years. Now, Giannis didn't go anywhere for now, and are we, as New York Knicks fan, I'm a number one New York Knicks fan. No, we are not disappointed. Believe it or not, we're not disappointed. And the reason why we're not disappointed, because the Knicks fan really wanted to see how the current team as constructed, if they could actually win a championship. And, they made the addition of Jose Alvarado from the Pelicans. That's a huge pickup for the Knicks because they were relying on their second-year guard, Tyler Kolek, and he's been up and down, and teams were able to run over him defensively. But with Alvarado, he's a proven backup point guard, and he's a defensive nuisance. If you ever going to go online and look how he steals the ball from players when they're putting the ball inbounds, he is that type of nuisance, and he's going to bring a lot of disruption for the Knicks, and he's a great defensive player. So we weren't sad that Giannis didn't come to us this year, because if we don't win it this year, we always can go back and circle back and try to get Giannis during the off season. And Giannis really doesn't want to leave Milwaukee, because if he wanted to leave Milwaukee, he would demand a trade. Look at James Harden. He needs to provide NBA players with a master class on demanding a trade. This man has done it 3 times, and he has succeeded 3 times. 3 times he demanded a trade, and 3 times he went to the team that he wanted to go. So you have to be a very disruptive person to do that. And unfortunately, Giannis is too nice and too loyal to do that. So, it is what it is. And the final thing, there's been a lot of movement in the NBA, and is it sending a message? Basically, for future plans, if teams are trying to win the big one. To be honest with you, a lot of the trades that happened this year were actually shedding salaries and obtaining picks. Most of those teams, if you notice, they really, it was only a couple of big superstars leaving. That was Davis and James Harden. But Davis really was for the Cavs to shed salary. So that's what's happening now. There's a trend in the NBA because of the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement. It's really very difficult, really, to build super teams now. So it's a shift in roster construction. They're favoring going to younger and cheaper teams to contend. That's what OKC did. OKC, they tanked, and now they had their young core, and they were able to build around a young core. So when you re-sign your own players, you can get around the collective bargaining agreement because they allow you to sign your players that you have up to a certain amount. But what happens is when you go into free agency and you get other players and trades, you have a chance to go over that second luxury tax apron. And there's severe penalties that come with the second apron. And then you got people who are repeater luxury tax. There's severe consequences. So that's why teams are not really maintaining top-heavy, expensive rosters anymore, because you just can't maneuver anymore. And so this is the reason why there is a big, major change. And I know teams are trying to win the big one, but they're trying to win the big one a lot differently with young players and building through the draft. That's the new way to do it in the NBA. Gone are the days of putting the big 3 like what the Miami Heat did in 2010. So anyway, it's a completely different landscape now in the NBA. But, there was a lot of trades, but like I said, most of those trades were teams shedding salary. All right, Spitface, give me your opinion about this whole NBA situation.
Well, First Lady, it looks like Kevin Kev has joined us, so I'm going to be short, and I'm going to be short. and I'm just going to talk about James Harden and Anthony Davis. And I'm like, what team is going to bring James Harden on expecting that he ain't going to do a disappearing act in the playoffs? He does that. If there's one thing he's consistent about, well, two things: getting a trade to another team, and disappearing in the playoffs. So, Cleveland, good luck. And then as far as Anthony Davis, is he a superstar? I mean, really, is he? He has one ring that he lucked up and got during the COVID year with LeBron. So he got one ring. One ring. Now, I mean, I know there are players all over that would go, they get an arm to get one NBA championship ring, But Anthony Davis, he got his ring. When he plays, he's, good. But, I'm like, why? Why? He is not a franchise. What is the aura or the allure of at this point, an agent, Anthony Davis. But I will say one thing, one thing for him. He might make the cover of GQ because he got enough street clothes. To cover it. But that's all I'm going to say on the topic. So that you can turn it over to Candy Kev.
All right, Candy Kev, give me your take.
I think you are right, Spitface. They are definitely going to make the cover of Street Life GQ with James Harden. There's no doubt. And there's various nightclubs that James frequents, so there may be another magazine offering for the Cleveland Cavaliers as well. This trade really makes no sense, and if you look at James's career, you're absolutely right, is that he tends to harm the team because he has to be so ball dominant. So between Mitchell and Harden, I'll be very curious to see actually how this works out. Yeah, they beat the Kings in their debut, but who cares? It's the Kings. And this is a big salary that they're taking on for somebody who's 36 years old. If this is a one and done kind of year thing, and they go back and they're looking at their money a little differently at the end of the year, but boy, they seem to mortgage the future for a 1 year, maybe 2 year type player. It doesn't make any sense at all. And I have to give it to you. This draft or this period here of the trade deadline, this was all about saving money. It wasn't really to position teams to become better, to win. It was really just about saving money. And it's interesting because there seem to be some teams that could have done some things that could have improved their stock to win, but everybody stayed, for the most part, pat or reduced money. My Wolves, I thought for sure they were going to be in the Giannis sweepstakes, and they basically stayed pat too.
All right. Yeah, I said it was about saving money. The Wolves, I mean, I don't know why the Wolves thought they were going to get Giannis, because the Wolves had players, they just didn't have draft picks. And like I was saying, it's now about obtaining draft picks. The people are trying to do it the OKC way. The OKC way is keeping young players. Even though SGA was traded to them, he was traded to them when he was really, really young. And they build around him with draft picks, their own proven people that they chose, and that's how they was able to build that franchise into a super team, basically. Even though they're struggling right now because SGA is hurt. But anyway, it's going to be interested in the NBA as years come by. I'm not sure that collective bargain agreement can be renegotiated. But man, it is it's tough for teams, and it's actually tough for players too. So, it's interesting how they decide what they're going to do with it. All right, Spitface, over to you.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting suckers in bed, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering, over the competition, I'm towering. Record shop when I drop these lyrics that make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that all get sliced and diced, competition paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out, huh? Mama said knock you out, huh? We are talking about the knockout punch to Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft's hopes of being first ballot Hall of Famers. Is this really fair to either Bill or Robert? Does this decision by the Hall of Fame voters diminish the public's view of them being impartial and fair? Will Tom Brady be next? If he's not, how do they justify keeping Belichick and Kraft out? Leroy Satchel Page, Walter Buck Leonard, and my man, James Cool Papa Bear, are asking what you saying. First Lady Kevin Care, for one thing, the Hall of Fame voters, we know that they are not fair and impartial. So I need to get that over with right away. They are biased, and given that they're in the world of sports, you're going to have some biasness. But I do think they have went, I think they went too far with Bill Belichick, keeping him out for the first round. His first time up. And really it does kind of, if they vote Tom Brady in, it's like, what was this all about? Are y'all just some Patriot haters? Or is this supposed to be some high moral ground? It's almost like they have to not vote Brady in his first year eligibility after not voting Bill and Kraft in. They almost, it's like, okay, well, if you like going the team, Brady was the leader of the team. So it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, Kevin Care, give us some light.
It's totally ridiculous, but Faith, I can't even believe we're having this conversation. Can you imagine saying to somebody, I'm going to talk about the National Football League, and I want to give you a little bit of the history of the National Football League, and let's have a beer or two, or maybe an old fashioned or two while I tell you about the league, right? At what point in time in that conversation does not Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and the dominance of the Patriots not come into that conversation, right? I don't even understand how the Hall of Fame can call itself a Hall of Fame, right? Where a team that has elevated itself, has been the top to achieve toward, right? You're going to deny the owner and the head coach first ballot admission? Well, what are the credentials of people on the committee? I'd love to know. What are their credentials? Right? How do you talk about the league without talking about the Patriots? Now, don't get me wrong. You might not like the Patriots as a team, right? But that doesn't mean you're not going to make them first ballot Hall of Famers, right? I mean, I have a penchant more for the Lakers than the Celtics, but I'm not kicking Bill Russell out. I'm not kicking Red Auerbach out. I mean, come on now, right? That's just silliness. You have to recognize greatness. Isn't that what a Hall of Fame does? I mean, First Lady, that's got to be the case, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's been a stunner that these two people were not voted in the Hall of Fame. I mean, who's a better coach than Bill Belichick? I mean, you can say Vince Lombardi, the name of the trophy's named after. That's about it. I mean, nobody else. And, I mean, Kraft, I mean, he's won so many Super Bowls. I mean, this is so ridiculous. But, you know, it's a structural problem. It's a flawed process. That's the problem with this Hall of Fame. I mean, you're pitting people against each other, and you shouldn't have to do that. I mean, because they was trying to say whether or not some of these, I think his name was Craig, he had been up so many times, and this might have been his last time, I don't know, so you're going to pick him. And, you know, it's not fair to these people, too, that were chosen, because I'm not sure how many people are going to go to this Hall of Fame ceremony because of the fact that Belichick and Robert Kraft were not chosen. And now the question is, really, is Tom Brady going to be chosen? Now, the problem is, well, actually, it's not a problem. Fortunately for Tom Brady, he probably will be chosen because of all the backlash that's happened this year. You know, he doesn't even become eligible until 2028. So they have 2 years to get their act together, the Hall of Fame. So more than likely, Tom Brady will be a first ballot Hall of Famer, even though, you know, you would think, okay, well, if Belichick and Kraft are not, why should Brady be? Because he's under the same situation with Spygate and Deflategate. But no, they will get it. They will correct this because of the problems that they've had this year and so much of the backlash from people. You know, I mean, this is such an epic snub in the history of the Hall of Fame that, you know, it's just so crazy. So it's a process that they need to fix. They will have it fixed definitely by next year. So, I mean, I don't see this being another problem again, ever again. Unfortunately, it just had to come against the two greatest football coach and football owner, and that's just so sad.
All right, it's a sad situation there. Will they be all going to the Hall of Fame together?
That's if you wanted to say that what they were trying to do is raise some money because they wanted to do the Tom Brady roast 2 and then have all 3 of them roasted, maybe that's what the Hall of Fame committee was trying to do. Maybe they were trying to have a special show, right? But they got to come clean. This is a travesty, right? And First Lady is right, because now you're pushing down other people. So you've got folks that might have been first ballot Hall of Famers next year, the year after. Now that competition gets even more difficult. This is just ridiculous.
Hey, how they say, what a wicked web we weave. All right, First Lady, you had the last word. Please take us to break.
Stay tuned. Up next, we have a performance from Carter C. Carter on Shout Out Part 1. Sound like a high school.
Welcome back. The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from Carter C. Carter.
On Shout Out, we featured new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. We are featuring music from Carter C. Carter and his hit album, Ocean. They say, quote, Carter C. Carter creates a late-night R&B with a cinematic edge, blending emotional vocals, atmospheric synths, and neon-lit production that feels made for 2 a.m. All right. Influenced by artists like The Weeknd and M83, CCC's music drifts between intimate confession and widescreen nostalgia. All right. They say each track is built around mood, melody, and storytelling, modern, immersive, and hauntingly personal. All right, I can't wait to hear this song.
You said we couldn't be together. together, like our worlds were too different. But how can I just forget you? You are my personal oxygen. Maybe we are shores apart, but your thoughts always keep me close. I might lack any real direction, but you are the end of my every road. Sometimes the baggage we keep is there just to hold a new door open. All the ones before, we're just stepping stones in a pond, but you are the ocean, yeah. You say they won't let us be together, but you're the only one that I see. It's like the audience disappears at the start, and I'm only staring at what's on the screen. If I can't hold you in my arms tonight, then I'll keep you in my thoughts right now. You are the best thing that's happened to me, even if it doesn't work out. Sometimes the baggage we keep is there just to hold a new door open. All the ones before, we're just stepping stones in a pond, but you are the ocean. Sometimes the baggage we keep is there just to hold a new door open. All the ones before, we're just stepping stones in a pond, but you are the ocean, yeah. Being with me isn't easy. Being with you is difficult, but I trade what comes complicated if it means you were my impossible, yeah. Sometimes the baggage we keep is there just to hold a new door open. All the ones before, we're just stepping stones in a pond, but you are the ocean. Sometimes our regrets are there just to hold a new door open. All the ones before, we're just stepping stones in a pond, but you are the ocean. You are the ocean. You are my ocean. Oh, you are the ocean. Oh.
Okay. All right. That's called Ocean. I like the feel of the song. He does got that romantic groove about him, and so I'm definitely going to shout out the song for Carter C. Carter. Yes, he got a nice vocals, and yeah, very romantic. All right, Chevy Kev, you shouting it out or hitting the mute button?
I'm going to follow your lead, First Lady. I did like the melodic tone within his voice. I'm sure that he is going to have some people screaming and shouting sort of as he leans in and sings those songs. It's not my cup of tea as it relates to music, but I can definitely see how he will gather a legion of fans. So I'm going to shout it out.
All right, Spitface, you hitting the mute or you shouting it out?
I just want to know that do y'all think it was 2 a.m. music? I'm shouting. I thought it was really well produced, and the brother got a nice voice. Carter got some skills. He got some skills. I'm shouting it out.
All right. I was asleep at 2 a.m. in the morning. All right. On part 2 of Shout Out, we will be featuring another performance from Carter C. Carter. And I know this guy, he's always up around this time. Is it the sound of our favorite underwater friend? It's time for Flip It.
No one is free. It's farther than you. And we are forever. There's in a world of I never, I never feel.
All right, it is time for flipping, while hosts defend the point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. The Super Bowl 60 is going on, and both teams are ready. They scratching, they ready to get out. But we wonder, will the matchup between the Patriots and Seahawks be a thriller or a big snore? The Feds, get your popcorn ready. This game will be a thriller. You know, when I look at this game, and the two teams may not be favorites other than their own fan base, and so in that perspective, it might be, well, you know, the Seahawks, the Patriots, the Patriots been there before, but it's been a long time since the Patriots been there, and it's been a long time since the Seahawks have been there. And there's so many backstories. Will Sam Darnold, you know, shake off the ghost and be another Kurt Warner, where he came on in, you know, wasn't expected to win, but won the big one. And that would be a lot coming for somebody who started his career hanging out with Mean Green, and you know, it's a surprise that he's still in the league. And then you got the young buck, Drake May. You know, can he do a Tom Brady? You know, come in against the odds and lead Team Patriot to a victory. Oh yeah, get your popcorn ready, because this will be a thriller. Take care, popping that popcorn. Defend. The game is going to be a thriller.
Oh, there's no doubt that it's going to be a thriller. I mean, you're going to see Vrabel do a razzmatazz kind of play. You know, he's got something up his sleeve that he has not figured out or has not shown, just kind of keeping it at bay just for the big game. So that's going to be great. It's also going to be great to be able to see the Seattle Seahawks passing attack, dissecting and moving down the field, and to see how the Patriots respond to it. And, of course, there's going to be some high anxiety, right? There's going to be some high anxiety because we're going to be living on the edge of whether Darnold's going to throw that interception or that touchdown. You know there's going to be a ball that's going to get tipped and up in the air, and who knows how that ball is going to come down. Is it going to come down to the Seahawks, or is it going to give the Patriots an opportunity to steal and do a pick six? So, yeah, this game is going to be exciting. These are two teams that have shown their dominance throughout the year within their respective conference. They've got excellent coaches. So, yeah, this is going to be a thriller. People are going to be happy to see this game.
All right, the thriller in Manila, taking place in California. All right, First Lady, defend extra butter on that popcorn. The game will be a thriller. I think we got First Lady muted.
Yes. This is going to be an exciting game because, you know, most Super Bowl games, even though last year's game was a blowout, and usually they are one-sided affairs. Every once in a while you'll get a gem where it's a close game, but this is going to be a gem because you got two teams that are pretty much evenly matched. They got great defenses, so it's going to be a defensive struggle. And what more can you ask for a defensive struggle, to see how they're going to score? I mean, they're going to go back and forth with each other, and it's going to come down to the wire to see who's going to get that final push and be able to score. And it's going to depend on each team's defense, and it's going to depend on these quarterbacks. You know, you got Sam Darnold, who's on a reclamation project. You know, he's trying to revenge what everybody's been talking negatively about him. And then you got the young Drake May. I mean, he didn't really have a great conference championship game, but, you know, it was bad weather. So Drake May is, you know, he's the next Tom Brady, right? That's what everybody's saying in New England. But I'm looking forward to it because it is going to be an exciting game. And, you know, we really don't know if the Seahawks really are going to win because, you know, they are heavily favored to win. Nobody's giving the Patriots a chance. You know, I'm still on the fence about this one. We'll see later on, but I'm definitely saying this is an exciting matchup, so I'm looking forward to it. I mean, when you have two defenses and you really don't know if teams can really score, that's going to make it exciting because defense wins championships.
All right, defense wins championships. And let's flip it. Looks like a defensive battle and a snore. Now, there are football fans who love defense. And I'm one of those fans. I love a good defense. And there are other fans who they love scoring. They want to see point for point. They want it to go down to the wire, and they want it to be that last-second field goal or that last-second touchdown pass, and their team wins. Well, that ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. And the reason they ain't going to happen is that both these teams have great defenses. And so you're not getting none of that. But then the other reason is that, you know, we don't have Patrick Mahomes playing. We don't have Hurts playing. You know, we ain't got Saquon Barkley playing. You know, we don't have, you know, these players who bring those great moments. And because of that, it's going to be a close game. And if it's not a close game, it's going to end up being a blowout. So either way, get you some popcorn to see if you can keep awake. Kevin can't defend neither team will make you holler. It's going to be a snore.
I had to tell you, Spitface, this is when I saw the flip it and take it. I hope I was positive on the first half because this is really how I feel. I feel like this game is going to be a snore fest. You think of how the Patriots struggled in AFC playoffs to score points. And now they're going to go up against a defense that's far better than any of the other teams that they faced. May holds the ball too long. Sometimes, you know, young quarterback, you think you're going to hold it for a heartbeat too. And you're going to be able to make the big play. No, that's when the interceptions are going to happen, or that's when the ball is going to get stripped. I just see the Patriots struggling to score points today. Diggs is great, but I think they're going to double him up. I think they're going to throw some exotic looks at May that he might not have seen before. And we're going to be talking about, is this the Legion of Doom 2 in Seattle, I think, at the end of the day. And it's not that the Seahawks are going to score a ton of points, but I think they're going to get a couple short fields like they did when they played the Rams and the 49ers. And that will be it for the Patriots. Because if the Patriots go down 10 early, which I think that's what's going to happen, I don't think they're ever going to get back or really threaten in this game. I just see the Seahawks, as they say, putting their foot on their throat and not letting them up. I don't know. What do you think, First Lady?
Well, I had previously said that the great defenses, which can lead to an exciting game, going back and forth, because both defenses are so great, you really don't know who's going to win, who's going to come to that, the final score. However, with these defenses and the lack of offenses from both of these teams, because let's face it, we're wondering if the real Sam Darnold is going to show up, seeing ghosts again in the Super Bowl. You can talk about Drake May, but you know how we are with Sam Darnold and the big games. He performed great for the conference finals, but this is the Super Bowl we're talking about. We're on a big stage, and these offenses are really, really, to me, will struggle, and the game is not going to be as exciting as it should be. But when you have great defenses, it could be an exciting game. But the fact that these offenses can be very, very pedestrian, I don't think it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a snooze fest, very boring. I mean, it might be strategically brilliant game, but it's going to be boring. And also, considering the game, we forgot that I don't know too many of Bad Bunny songs, but the problem is I don't speak Spanish, so he's going to be singing in Spanish. I don't even know what he's going to be talking about, to be honest, singing. So you're going to have a boring game, and you're going to have probably a boring halftime show, too. So this is just going to be a snooze fest in the entire game.
Now,
hopefully we'll be saved by the commercials. That's all I got to say.
Now, First Lady, you've seen some telenovelas, right? You've seen some telenovelas, right? You've seen how in those Spanish soap operas how the women dress. So I think that's what the NFL is going for. They're hoping. I'm not saying they're looking for a costume malfunction. I'm not going that far. But I think they're hoping that Bad Bunny is going to have some lovely ladies around him. No, I mean, think about it.
Well,
right?
actually, they say he dresses in a dress, so maybe he'll be dressing in a dress.
Oh, okay.
Yes, they do. They say he wears
something
dresses.
for everybody. Something for everybody. I just think it's crazy that you got Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson in the same draft class, and Sam Darnold might be the first one of that group to win a Super Bowl.
Oh, now that would be wild. Yeah, and he might does. All right, First Lady, over to you for more Clippers.
The Clippers got rid of James Harden, and the Mavs dumped Anthony Davis. We wonder which team improved the most, kicking these guys to the curb. All right, Spitface and Kevy Kev, defend. The Clippers got the better deal, getting rid of Harden. Defend, Spitface.
First Lady, well, I'm looking at getting rid of Harden, getting rid of Davis, and I'll just say that the Clippers got the better deal because Harden is the bigger headache. He's the bigger headache. He demanded what he demanded. He got the hell out, and that's a good thing for the Clippers. You got rid of him. You got rid of that contract, and perhaps you can make some. Perhaps you can move forward, realizing you don't have this baggage hanging over you. The thing with Davis, the thing with Davis is his availability, because you can be great, but if you're only great 50% of the time, the value decreases. But Davis ain't a disruption. He doesn't have an attitude, so that's going to be detrimental to your team. So the Clippers definitely got the better deal, getting a breath of fresh air, getting rid of disappearing heart. Definitely. Kevy Kev.
All right, Kevy Kev. Who got the better deal, the Clippers or the Mavs?
Oh, you want me to defend that the Clippers got the best deal. So on that score, I think you got to look at it. You still have Kawhi Leonard on your team. I know he is banged up and injured and injury prone, but let's just face it, there was never going to be happiness in paradise with Kawhi Leonard and James Harden. We all know that. So if you got to get rid of one of them, pick the winner, Kawhi Leonard. I mean, he did at one point in time put the Raptors on his back, made them a championship team. And if you look at the team now, instead of trying to outscore teams, you got a ferocious defensive team now. It gives the team identity. So to me, you got rid of the garbage, and I'm not saying that Harden's a garbage player, but the idea of something inconsistent with your core, your identity, you've discarded that, sent that away, and you now brought in Darius Garland. You brought in players that are willing to put their nose in it like Isaiah Jackson and play some real defense. So to me, I'm going to be curious to see what the Clippers are going to be in the next year or two, because they definitely went younger and they're building around Kawhi. That's typically been a good road to success in the NBA.
All right. Good road to success. Well, the Clippers eliminating James Harden gives them a better chance to perform. Even though if they get into the play-in, at least they know that their players will be there, because James Harden has always been a disappearing act during the most crucial games. And he's 36 years old, and he had a player option for next year. He wanted a contract extension. So actually, Harden demanding a trade did the Clippers a big favor. Even though Garland contract extends to 27-28 season, he's only 26 years old. They can build around him and Kawhi Leonard together. I think that is much of a better pairing than Kawhi and James Harden, because Garland is not as ball dominant as James Harden was. Now, Davis going to the Wizards just emphasized how horrible the Luka for Davis trade was. That's all that trade did. It just made it more compelling that it was a bad trade. All right, let's flip it. The Mavs got the better deal, getting rid of Anthony Davis. Kev, defend.
Well, this one is easy to defend that they got the better of the deal. Davis, D'Angelo Russell, those two no longer. Oh my goodness, that's a great gift. That feels like Christmas came early. I've struggled to see D'Angelo play here in Minnesota, so I know what you're getting there. So that was good for them to be able to get rid of that. And I think I like Davis as a player, but he is just at a point where he is too injury prone. You just never know what you're going to get. First Lady, you were absolutely right. The Mavericks are in a position only to make this deal because they lucked out and got Cooper Flag. Had they not gotten him, it would have been really interesting to see what the Mavericks would be doing this trade deadline. I don't know if they would have been as ambitious as they were. But now they have them. They could play. They could now position and say, hey, we're not winning this championship this year, but we now have a superstar that plays both ways, as you correctly articulated. He plays both ways, and he plays both ways hard, and he plays smart. He finds his teammates, and his teammates are responding, and that's pretty amazing since I don't think this guy is even 20 years old. So they are well positioned, the Mavericks, for success down the road. They're in a good spot. And I like Christmas.
All right. They're in a good spot. All right. Spit, face, defend. The Mavs got the better deal.
Well, first off, I think they got the better deal because the Clippers had a bad deal getting Harden in the first place. So, at least, the thing is, Anthony Davis and company, it was a horrible trade. Okay, it was horrible, but it worked out. It worked out for them. It sure did. And being able to send AD on, just says, hey, look, we know where we're going. We know what we're building around. We're not pretending that we're going to try to make something work that in the long run wasn't going to work. So just being able to clear that space so that now you can concentrate on building the team around Cooper Flag and, and you got a few picks out the deal. Really, the Mavs are in a much better situation. So they're the ones who got the better deal, getting rid of AD. And so now the whole team can get into, has the opportunity to get into GQ. And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I said it earlier. I mean, for the Mavs, they got beyond that Luka Anthony Davis trade. I mean, Anthony Davis had to go. He was a walking accident, always in his street clothes. And what can you say? The man really did not play for the Mavs. I mean, it was a bad trade. They were able to get under, they shedded all the salary. They also got a lot of one-year contracts that they're going to have cap space, and they're going to have draft picks. And Anthony Davis will go on to the Wizards. Hopefully he's not going to play this year. Next year he'll be able to play for the Wizards. So, the Wizards are just content to say, like, they could make it to the play-in. So that's what they're hoping for, because they always been in the cellar all their years. So, but with the Mavs, as I indicated, Cooper Flagg is the real deal. Cooper Flagg is a two-way player, and even though Luka's only 26 years old, Luka may be 26, but he's going to be like a 36-year-older because of the fact that he's been playing professional basketball since he's been 16 years old. So that's 10 years difference to add to his body. And that's the reason why Nico Harrison really wanted to get rid of Luka, because he was not the type of player that was motivated. He worked with Kobe Bryant, and he saw the difference. And I think, fortunately for the Mavs, it's going to prove well for them, because they got a young Cooper Flagg, and that's why they got the better end of this deal. Now, the Clippers, they got rid of James Harden, but are they really going anywhere with Kawhi and Garland? I mean, I'm not sure. It may be good. It'd be a better fit. But when I look at the Mavs' potential, the Mavs can win a championship with Cooper Flagg. So, yes, they definitely got the better deal. All right, Spitface, please take us to break.
All right. On the other side of the break, we have another performance from Carter C. Carter, or do they call him the 3 C's? Shout out part 2. Please keep your ears glued to those speakers.
Welcome back. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout-out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
All right. On the second part of shout-out, we are featuring another track from 3 C's himself, Carter C. Carter. Let's hear the title. Let's hear My Anchor. Ooh, My Anchor. I wonder what that'd be about. My Anchor.
Things I cannot say, and the things I refuse to, but none of this would be possible if I was without you. You make me feel nervous, awkward, and confident at the same time. If we were in rising waters, you would be my lifeline. Ooh. I'm not sure how you get me, and I'm not certain how I've got you. You are my anchor in this daydream. I would have gone nowhere without you. Sometimes we protect ourselves so much that no one can get through. What started out as self-defense turned into what we can't everything we know, but then when someone takes a hold, we're always trying to let go. I'm not sure how you get me, and I'm not certain how I got you. You are my anchor in this daydream. I would have gone nowhere without you. I'm not sure how you get me, and I'm not certain how I found you. You are my anchor in this daydream. In this daydream, I would have slipped away without you. I believe we are photographed, fading as time adds up. We're all nothing but addicts to ourselves when it comes down to love. I'm not sure how you get me, and I'm not certain how I've got you. You are my anchor in this daydream. I would have daydreamed, I would have gone nowhere without you. I'm not sure how you get me, I'm not sure how you get me, and I'm not certain how I found you. You are my anchor in this daydream. With a sweet dream, I would have slipped away without you.
All right, that was My Anchor. And Kevin Kev, you giving it a shout out or hitting the mute button?
Again, and maybe it's because I'm been around the sun about 6 decades. I just don't have that teenage angst anymore. So the tune doesn't resonate with me in that way. But I do appreciate the technical competency of the music, and I appreciate the pacing within it. So I'm going to shout it out, and I'm assuming that there's going to be some individuals who might be holding each other a little closer, maybe at prom time.
At prom. So you saying it's 2 a.m. at prom? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's not D'Angelo at 2 a.m. Right? It might be PG before. Yeah.
All right. First lady, you give the shout out or hit the mute button.
No, I'm going to give it a shout out. Like you always say, he has some skills. He has a nice vocal performance, and I think the songs are produced well. So I enjoyed his song. So I'm definitely shouting him out.
I'm listening to it, and part of his description, he speaks about imagery, and I can definitely see the music video. For this track. It would be a good, you could do a good music video for this track. Not so much a movie, but really like a good music video. Brother Carter, you got some skills. I'm shouting you out. Now, that is the end of shout out for this week. You can check out Carter C. Carter on the Old Grumpy Radio Network. If you would like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to talent@oldgrumpyradio.com. First Lady, over to you.
All right. It is time for the pick. Okay, this is the last game with the Super Bowl. What is it? Super Bowl 60 we're in. So let's go over the picks and where we currently stand. From the conference championship, Heavy Kev, you had 150 million points. Spitface, you ended up with 100 million points. Dizzy Mac had 25 million points, and I ended up with 0 points. So where do we stand? Heavy Kev, you got 151 million points. I'm at 121.725. Spitface, you're at a negative 25.275 million points, and Dizzy Mac is at a negative 95.250 points. However, we got a lot of points to win, a lot of points. So it'll come down to the last game. All right, so let's get to our winners and losers. 200 million points, Patriots versus Seahawks. Well, I had not decided who I was going to pick. I know everybody is thinking the Seahawks is going to win. But you want to know something? I'm going to take a flyer. I'm going to pick the Patriots because I'm going with the underdog. Because everybody is betting the Seahawks. They are not giving the Patriots a chance to win. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give the Patriots a chance because I think they can win. All right. We'll get Dizzy Mac picks later. Spitface, what is your pick? Patriots or the Seahawks?
I'm going with the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm. You going with everybody else. I know. I already know who Kev's going with because he already kind of alluded to who he's going with. Who you going with, Kev?
All right, I'll make it official. Yeah, I'm going Seahawks.
All right. So I'm all by myself on that island. All right. Okay. Drake May, 1 interception. Spitface. Whereas, these are 50 million points, over, under, and push. What do you have?
I'm going over.
All right. Heavy Kev?
I'm going over because he's going to be throwing to try to catch up late in the game.
All right. I'm doing a push. Sam Darnold, 3 passing touchdowns. Heavy Kev?
He gets 2, I think. It's an under, but that's only because the ground game comes to play for the Seahawks.
All right. I'm going definitely under. Spitface?
I'm going with the push.
All right. Drake May, 1 rushing touchdown. I'm going to go with a push because he does run with his legs. So, Spitface, 1 rushing touchdown for Drake May.
I'm going under.
All right. Heavy Kev?
I'm going with you, First Lady. That's they got to have him running if they're going to have any chance. So I think he sneaks one in.
All right. Seahawks, total points 26. Heavy Kev?
Yeah, this is challenging because it's going to be a defensive one, but I think because the Patriots are going to gamble late in the game, the Seahawks are going to get a cheapy score at the end, so they're going to get to that 27, 28 points.
All right, so you got over.
I got over.
All right, I have under. Spitface.
Man. I'm these two defenses play really, really well, but I'm going over.
All right, you're going over the 26. All right. Patriots total points 20. All right. I'm going over because I think they're going to have 21 points. That's what I think. I think the score is going to be 21-14. Spitface?
I'm going under.
Kevy Kev?
I think it's right on it at 20. I think the only question is it 1 field goal or 2 field goals? No more than 2 touchdowns. They can't do that.
So you got a push or under?
I got a push. I think it's right on the number 20.
Okay. All right, on the number. All right. Sam Darnold, 256 yards. All right. Kevy Kev?
He's going to be killing them with those screen passes. It's not going to be a ton of passes over 25 yards, but when you look up at the end of the night, he's going to be over. Sam, over.
Yeah.
And I tell you, he just might be MVP.
All right, well, I have over. I got over. Spit face.
Over.
All right. Excuse me. Drake May, 200 passing yards. Spit face.
Under.
Kevy Kev.
I got him at 201 because Diggs makes one guy miss in the secondary, and he gets off a big play. Doesn't score, but he gets off a big play, and they get a cheapy field goal. May, just over. Just over.
I got over also. Jackson Smith, Nigba. Jackson Smith Nigba. Nigba, right? Nigba. Okay. 125 receiving yards. I have under Dizzy Mac. I mean, Dizzy Mac, I did his later. Spit face.
I think he's going to have a great game, but I'm going to go under.
All right. Kevy Kev?
He'll have over 100, but it won't quite be that 125.
This is going to be the controversy. Does it go to JSN for the MVP or does it go for Darnold? Because he's going to go over 125. I think somewhere in that, like 130, give him a touchdown and maybe a play that puts the final nail in the coffin for the Patriots. So I'm going over.
All right. You're going over? I think I said I was going under already, right? Okay. All right, Stephon Diggs, 100 receiving yards. Kevy Kev?
I'm going to go over. He's going to get one big play, but that'll be about it for him. Just over 101, 102 yards.
I'm going under. Spit face?
I think they're going to shut him down. I'm going under.
All right. Patriots rushing totals 120 yards. I'm going over. Spit face.
Under.
Kevy Kev.
They may not even get 80. They're going under.
All right. Seahawks rushing totals 135. Spit face.
Under. So wait, no, let me say, I'm going to go over.
Kevy Kev?
Good call, Spitface. I'm going over as well. Watch out for that draw.
Yeah, I'm going to go over. I'm going over of both rushing. All right. Total missed field goals. 1. Let's see. Total missed field goals. I'm going to go over. Safe?
That's interesting.
Okay, I'm going to go under.
Kevy Kev?
I'm going to go push.
All right. Total miss extra points. Spit face?
Under.
Kevy Kev?
Under.
I'm going under. All right. Now we got some more. These are first team score, Patriots or Seahawks. All right, Kevy Kev, you're up first.
First half, Seahawks with a touchdown puts the Patriots in a bad way.
Who's going to score first? Well, I'm rooting for the Patriots. I'm going to go Patriots. Put the Seahawks in a bad way. Spit face.
I'm going with the Seahawks.
All right. First score is either going to be a field goal, touchdown, safety. Spit face.
I'm going to say a touchdown.
All right. Kevy Kev?
Touchdown.
I'm going to say field goal. First team score second half. Patriots or Seahawks? Yeah, that depends who gets the ball. Who wins the flip, the coin toss. I'll say Seahawks. That's an interesting one. That's a difficult one. Spit face.
I'm going with them boys.
Kevy Kev?
Because they get a call from Commissioner Goodell to let up just a little bit so people continue to watch the game. I'm going to say Patriots.
You really think it's going to be that much of a blowout? Okay. All right. Final score: field goal, touchdown, or safety? Kevy Kev.
Oh, the final score in the game?
No, it's the final score. Like the final score. Is it going to be a field goal? Is it going to be a touchdown? Or is it going to be a safety? The last
Right, the final score. Yeah, the final score of the game.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. I think the final score in the game is going to be a touchdown.
Okay. I'm going with a touchdown, too. Spitface?
I'm rolling with the touchdown.
All right. All right. Okay. Well, that will do it. We shall see how our picks turn out. It's anybody's game, to be honest with you. Anybody's game. All right. All right, Spitface and Kevy Kev, what is your top story to watch this week?
Well, my top story to watch this week is the ratings battle, the halftime ratings battle between Bad Bunny and Kid Rock's dueling Super Bowl halftime show. I'm chomping at the bit to see who's going to have the better rate.
All right. Kevy Kev, what is your top story to watch this week?
Top story for me to watch is to see what the president says that's idiotic after watching Kid Rock at the halftime. I'm not sure what he's going to do, but I just can't imagine he's going to help himself without putting his foot in his mouth. Some way, somehow.
Okay, so my top story to watch is, what is my top story to watch? Basically, to see how the trades have impacted the NBA this week, just to see where teams are and if they're going to be able to, turn it around, especially my New York Knicks. All right, check out our current and previous episodes at BrasPantiesAndSports.com. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk with Kevy Kev and Spitface. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. See you next week.